see, Shelby's already started on the project. So anyway, last little bit we've not been able to really go do any camping videos. So we're hoping we get to do a camping video here before too long. But give me just a second. Let me get Shelby out of the trailer. All right, I was afraid it was going to tip over. I just got it sitting up on the jack stand. So that is a 5x8 little utility trailer. So yeah, you can probably already see where I'm going with this. I think we're going to build us an Overland / camping trailer out of this thing. So the other Mike that you guys have seen on the channel that goes camping with us, he actually bought him a trailer as well. His is a little smaller, and I'll show you guys that whenever he gets here. But today turned out to be really nice. It's not a cloud in the sky and about 65 degrees out here today, so it's super nice. So I was going to take advantage of that. And so anyway, let me get you off the tripod, bring you over here, and let you guys check out the trailer. And yeah, see what you think about it. Alright guys, so basically, I'm not sure what year this is. Of course, it didn't come with a title. Of course, it came with a bill of sale. And we're down here in Alabama, so that's all you have to have for a trailer. Anyway, yeah, it's just a little rinky-dink. I guess you would consider this like a lawnmower trailer. It's nothing real special. Like I said, it does tilt, so it's got the pin up here, and then it pivots down here. Anyway, long story short is we're going to turn this into a not tilting trailer. We're going to just basically, I don't know if you guys can see this. Maybe you can. Yeah, so it's been, I guess they went to back up and caught the edge of the tongue here, and it's actually bent like this. I don't know if you guys can try to get an angle of it where you can see it, but it's turned a little bit. So we're going to replace this, and then we're going to bring it out about another 5 inches or so, and then we're going to triangulate it and then mount us a box up here on the front. So that's the plan with that. I did go ahead and do an axle flip on it. So I don't know if I can get under here and show you guys, but all I did was move the axle so it was mounted on top of the leaf springs. So really I just flipped it and mounted it to the bottom. Some of these axles have they'll have a bow in the axle. Generally you want the bow up top, so as it loads the trailer down, it adjusts camber. But this one was just straight. It didn't have a bow to it. So as you can see, I have plenty of wheel clearance here. So the idea is to put a little bigger tire on it, and a wheel that spaces it out a little further. Not sure if we're going to leave the fenders. They are good welded on fenders. They're good and solid. You can stand on them. But I kind of want to make them flat on top, just so it gives you like, a little prep area or something if you want to cook some dinner or set a stove up here or whatever. But yeah, so that's pretty much it on this one. We are going to change up the lights a little bit. A couple other little things. But yeah, we're just going to start building on this thing, and we just kind of wanted to bring you guys along and let you, see the process of it. I'm sure there's plenty of videos on how to build one of these on YouTube, but everybody has their own version. So these trailers are super easy to build, and this is the idea with this one, is we're going to do it as budget as possible. So I can either tow it with my pickup truck when we go camping, or as you guys seen the van here. So you guys have seen this van that we camp in and pile up in. It's a 2011 Dodge Caravan. But I did take and put I don't know if you can see it because of the light, but I put a trailer hitch on it. So it's got a class 3 hitch on it now, so we can tow the trailer. And of course there's Frank. So Frank is pretty much still where Frank was when I did the last video. I hadn't really had a whole lot of time to work on him. So sorry about the wind noise, guys, if it's coming through. But yeah, the bus is not going to fit everywhere we go camping. So the idea is when we don't take the bus, we take the van and the trailer, and we've still got plenty of room for everybody, plenty of room for our gear, because as it sits right now, the bus just isn't going to be ready in time to really use it a whole lot. We're hoping I've got something else in the works too. So as far as another bus goes, so I got some extra parts. But anyway, sorry to kind of ramble. yeah, well, anyway, I'm gonna start cleaning this up a little bit and get our uprights ready. I do have the trailer already leveled out. Don't mind the junk in the background. That's just some, I'm a mechanic guy, so that explains a lot, right? So anyway, yeah, we're gonna get this thing leveled up good. We're gonna go ahead and put our uprights. Once I get the uprights welded, I'm gonna cut them off once I get the right height, because I want them high enough that when I melt the awning on it, you can be able to walk under it without banging your head, which, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, banging your head for me is not really an issue. I'm only like 5'4", 5'5", so I'm gonna worry about that too much. So anyway, we're gonna get started on this thing, see if we can do a little welding on it, and see what we come up with. Alright, so that's pretty well cleaned off. I'll have to clean these off, but essentially the idea is going to be to stand these up here, and of course I'll level these up, and it's not going to be that high either. I'll cut them down, but I am going to put a wood floor in this trailer, so I'm going to use just a piece of 2x4, a spacer, and then basically sit like that, and that'll give me 2 points of contact for this, and then this will probably come up. I'm probably going to go somewhere around, I don't know, 7 foot. I'm actually going to measure from the ground to the top of the van, so that way if I'm going through an area where the van makes contact, then I'll know that the trailer's going to hit too. So that's kind of the idea. Alright, so I've kind of come up with a rough idea on how long these are going to be. So something I didn't know I needed, but these things is awesome. I kind of always wanted to get some, but I never bought any, and man, that's awesome. I don't know why I never had any, but now that I know that they work good, I think I'm going to have to give me some more. So I measured off the ground to the top up there, or whatever, on the van. So from the ground to the top of the van up there around the roof rack is somewhere around about 6 foot, 5, 8, somewhere in that area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these at 58 inches. So off the ground it should put it pretty close to about 6 foot, something like that. Which will give me enough height, so if I run me an awning off of it, that'll give me enough room to pitch it, so if it's raining or whatever, the water will run off. So anyway, I've got to cut this down, and then set this up here, and we'll see if we can't weld it. Alright, so we've got it squared up, and then I like to round off all this so there's no sharp edges, so no getting cut. I guess I should put my gloves on. But anyway, we're going to set this up and see if we can't get it leveled up, and then maybe even tack this on real quick. Alright guys, so we're basically set up to do to tack this on. So I've got it. Of course, y'all, if you're building a trailer like this, your measurements may vary. I like even numbers, I'm not gonna lie, so I like trying to keep everything pretty straight. I did measure, so you got this upright and this upright here on the trailer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to keep this centered, so whatever you put on top will be fairly well centered over the axle. That's my goal anyway. So I'm at 26 inches, I'm level, and then my trailer is level. So I think we're ready to tack this up, so let's see what we can do. Alright guys, so we're set up to weld. I got the generator going because I don't have power back here. That shouldn't have a problem running that welder. So just a disclaimer, I'm not a professional welder, so you know, don't do what I do, and yeah, don't bash me too hard, guys. Alright guys, well, I guess that's something good to know. So as I started to weld, so we changed it up a little bit because the generator, for some reason, it's like as soon as this thing arced, detected voltage drop, and the generator wouldn't come up quick enough to catch it. So we switched it to where now we're just plugged straight in to a power source, and then now we're going to try it and see what it does. So yeah, I guess this works, and I know that and what's crazy is I've used it with a generator before fixing a gate, backed up to it and run the generator, but I think it was on a lower power level too because we weren't welding a stick of metal. So I guess we'll try it again and see what happens. So it's not the prettiest weld, and actually there's some bubbles in it, which I'll grind that out and re-tack it. I do not like flux core welders. I mean, they're good for quick little projects that really don't mean a whole lot, but I'm gonna clean this up a little better and make it a little nicer. Because the thing is, you don't want it to crack. Because the problem with doing this is you've got this bar up here. So what's gonna happen is, as you're driving down the road or hit a bump, you've got the lateral movement. So that's where you really want this to be strong. It's not so much, you know, holding the weight of the rooftop tent if we put one on here, or some kayaks or whatever, but that moving back and forth is what's gonna compromise this. So I'm gonna fix that. All right, everyone. So it's probably about a week since I did the trailer back there. So I got the uprights done on it. So now we're working on Mike's trailer, and as you see, we got a new axle. Show you what we're working with here. All right, so Mike picked this trailer up, and
kind of got screwed over on it.
Yeah, in a sense. So I'll just take you guys down here and show you. So as you can see, it has absolutely no suspension, and yeah, so there's that. And then under some more investigation, we found that it has a piece of threaded iron pipe as the tongue. So
look, it was dark, I was tired, and I was 2 hours from home. I just wanted to get it and get going.
Right, so when he hooked it up, everything worked, and then when he got about 15 minutes down the road, that fender fell off. And then
when I got about 30 minutes from home, I stopped and got gas, and
wheel bearings was going out. So and the way they put this air on here, look how they did the hubs. So anyway, long story short, we're taking all this apart. So Mike wants to build him a little trailer, pull behind his truck, so that when we go camping, he's got a place to put his gear. That's why we started on this trailer here. So that's what we're working on now. So we're gonna do an axle flip. So basically, if you guys look, the axle sits on top of the leaf spring pack. So basically, we're just gonna unbolt this, flip it around, and what that'll do is it'll put the axle on top of this. So basically, it'll probably give it somewhere about a 5.5 inch lift. And then we're gonna actually flip the trailer. So this is angled.
the top here.
So
you're looking at the bottom.
We're gonna use the bottom side of this, so the top will be the bottom when we're done. So it'll give us a place to weld our spring purchase to. So anyway, I guess we're gonna get started on flipping this, and I guess we'll see where we end up. Alright, so we got them flipped. Now you guys can see how much of a difference that's going to give us. Now, on some of these axles, which I think I mentioned it when I was doing at the first of the video here, some axles will have a natural bow to them. Generally, on those trailers, the bow will be at the top, so then when you load it down, it basically makes the trailer tires or wheels camber up with the load. But as you can see, this one here is just straight across, the same as the other trailer, so we don't have to worry about that. So that's something to consider whenever you guys or if you guys decide to do an axle flip. If the axle's bowed, I think you can get away with it without putting a lot of weight on it. Don't hold me to it, but you want it to be a straight axle. All right, so we're gonna set the axle up here. We gotta get some measurements. Centered up with the other?
Yeah, I kind of thought about that. Right there. We can come this way a little bit.
Mine needs to come.
Let me see, tape measure.
Back a little bit. Looks like they put a center line here, look. See that line there? And then there's one there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, we measure it and see if that comes out to be true or not. Well, and we got Shelby out here. And I believe the only reason Shelby's out here is because I got lunch. So, this is our foreman.
Hey, you gave me 2 extra bolts.
All right, so I'm not a YouTuber that records when I'm eating. So, what about you? Oh crap! I about dropped the phone. All right, here we go. Alright guys, so as you guys know, this is just a little 120 volt welder. So we do have the gas hooked up. This stuff here is about 1/8 thick or a little better. So yeah, we're gonna preheat the metal. So we did get a tack on it. So that's what we've been doing, is preheat it a little bit, which gives the smaller which gives the weaker welder a little better chance to penetrate the metal good. So that's what we're working on now. Mike's just gonna preheat that side, and I'll hit it with some weld. We got a weld down this back side, and then yeah. So like I said, that gives us weaker welder a chance to penetrate the metal good, so we get a good weld. Alright guys, so we're not professional welders by any means, but preheating and crappy welder, like I said, this thing is just not powerful enough to, it's not even rated for the thickness of the metal we're doing. But we did get them welded on, and they're good and solid. So
what's the motto? If you can't weld good, weld a lot?
Well, I mean, we welded a lot. I mean, the thing is, I can weld good. I just need a better welder, or a welder that's rated for this kind of metal. Anyway, Mike started a fire, and as you can see, we probably could. Yeah. So it smells like a barbecue out here now, thanks to that. But anyway, we'll go on to the next thing. All right, guys. So we got the front ones on, and we still got to weld the backside edge of this. We thought maybe we put a gusset here or something, but I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that. But over there, get it to zoom in, you can see we've already tacked that side in, got it ready to go for the most part. So on this particular trailer, it's from the front side of this to the front side of this bracket's what'd you say, 26?
26 inches.
So but then it comes with these brackets, and then what that does is it allows the spring to move under weight,
down and back.
So
in other words, when you put weight on it, it's going to go down and it's going to push this
back a little bit. Yep.
So it's not pushing back.
So you're not supposed to tighten these up all the way. You just tighten them up to where it slightly pinches it, so that it still allows for some movement. So, but that's where we are now. We're fixing to preheat this side, tack it in, make sure it's flat. We squared it up with the trailer. So I guess we're going to get it on, and then what we ended up having to do is actually take the axle back off, because when we did the axle flip, or flip the spring on the axle, the tension on the U-bolts actually caused the spring to kick to one side, so we weren't able to get it straight. So we ended up taking it off, and that gave us the play that we needed to make sure that it was square with the trailer. But from the center bolt here to the center bolt on the other spring is 48, and then from our center hole on the axle to the other side is 48 as well. So Mike's fixing to warm this up and we're gonna get it tacked down. Alright guys, well, check that out. We have a axle mostly mounted. We're working on getting the U-bolts back on now. Our spring shackles are on. So as you can see, it's a little bit further forward than our old axle. And that's kind of what we wanted. So when you put the weight on it, it's going to take and push it back just a little bit. So as this part of the spring here goes down, the axle will actually roll back just a bit. So that's going to be about right where we wanted it. So I think it worked. What do you think, Mike? I think it's going to be all right. So, and it's nice and straight.
Everything's tight,
so
like it should.
All right. Well, we're going to get the U-bolt tightened up on this thing, and here in a minute we'll get it flipped over and see what it looks like. All right, guys. Well, it's kind of the end of the day. We're running out of daylight, but spinning around, and so now that the bottom of the trailer is now top of the trailer and vice versa, got the axle on. So I think it turned out pretty good. Look how thick this rebar is. I mean, it's bigger around than my thumb. It's huge. So one thing about it is they made sure it wasn't gonna fall off, didn't they?
Yeah.
So as you can see,
it took a second to get that rebar hot to cut.
Yeah, and then they double tubed this, so we got that cut. And so this is the next thing that we're gonna do is put a tongue on it and clean this up. We're gonna get the wood off and finish straightening this thing up. And then he's gonna put some uprights on it, make a rack for a rooftop tent. And
my rack was inspired by another YouTube channel, and I'll have Mike put the channel in the description. But the design of it is inspired by him.
So you got some awesome ground clearance now.
Yeah.
We hadn't measured it yet, but
kind of give y'all an idea, give you a hint. I ain't gonna spill the beans 100%, but my upright's gonna come up to about right here.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna weld crossbars in between them, and I'm gonna have 3 uprights per side, one here, one in each corner. And then I'm gonna have a tube a square tube that slides into it, and it's gonna be hinged at the top on both sides. That way, I can pull the pins and lock them out. And there's gonna be gas struts on there, 90-pound gas struts, one on each corner, and that'll pick it up with the 10 on top.
So basically,
so like one man can raise it up and lock it in place.
So basically, when he's traveling, it'll be dropped down, and then when he gets to the campsite, he can raise it up and get it up height. Because if he builds it down that low and puts his awning and stuff on it, then the awning will be banging him in the head. So a little different than mine, but essentially these trailers here are going to be used for gear trailers and camping trailers. So,
and I'm gonna have a slide-out kitchen on one side. Probably I'm gonna put it back here, slide out the side.
So
that white toolbox right there, I'm gonna cut in half.
We're gonna make 2 boxes out of that one.
Of it, and it's gonna be here in the front, facing the front.
Yep. So we got an idea on how we're gonna do this. So we don't want to ramble on too much, but yeah, everything's kind of coming together. So I know this is a little different than the camping videos we've been doing, but you know, hey, why not bring you guys along for the ride, right?
We're trying to make it easier on us.
Yeah, just so with the kids and stuff, and then the way we camp, like I said in the first of the video, you know, throwing everything in the van and not having a place to put anything. There's no, you know, there's no drawers or cabinets or anything to put stuff, so everything just kind of gets thrown in the van, and then when you go to leave, you just kind of got to throw it back in there again. So this will have us kind of organized, because as you guys can see, the bus is still sitting in the same spot. So that's something else coming. I actually bought another school bus. So
this is cheaper to build than that school bus is.
Yeah, exactly.
By a long shot.
And the thing about it is too, the school bus can't go everywhere.
Right, and this right here opens us up for more options too.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're gonna end it off here. Hope you guys liked the video. Share it, like it, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, until next time, you guys take care.
Peace.